Hi guys, wearing what's become the normal piece of garb now, a necker ready for face covering. But yeah, we're still coping with COVID. We're now into winter, well into winter, so let's talk heaters. Our boat came originally equipped with an Eberspacher. It was a 2 kilowatt Eberspacher and it didn't work. Didn't work well at all. In fact, we could get it running for about 10 minutes and then it would cut out. We gave very little heat. Previous owner had spent a fortune on it trying to get it to work without any success. So we were faced with either changing to a new Eberspacher or to a Webasto or something of that nature. Both well over £1,000. Very expensive, and yet on the market were some very similar diesel heaters from China. There's also the Planar, which I think are Russian, slightly more expensive than the Chinese, but just the same. So we opted for the cheap version. Now initially we fitted a 2 kilowatt, which was similar to the Eberspacher, and it did give heat and it worked great for a year. It was still running after a year, but we weren't really happy with the amount of heat, not for living aboard. So we converted then to a 5 kilowatt Chinese diesel heater, which we've had on board for 2 years, and it was working well, but we noticed the heat drop off slightly, and it was starting to give errors on fire up. So I decided we would change to a newer version, cheaper again. I bought a new 8 kilowatt, not really, but it's listed as 8 kilowatt Chinese diesel heater for £85. We fitted that and that's superb. But what it's given me is a spare 5 kilowatt diesel heater. So this is the standard diesel heater, Chinese diesel heater. 1 kilowatt to 5 kilowatt. It's a 12 volt running on diesel. You've got diesel input there, combustion chamber, fresh air going in, exhaust coming out, fresh cabin air going in, and hot air back to your cabin coming out of that end. What's inside? Electronic control pack, glow plug, thermistor for the temperature on there, fan, motor. Inside there is a fan, and that's the connection to the standard loop that comes with these bits of kit. That in itself is held in with I think it's a 3. Yeah. You only really need 3 tools to do a strip down on these, and you may have to strip them down occasionally to give them a clean out. Either. So that's the control panel. That's very simple. They are not very well waterproofed, I would say that. They tend to have the difference between an Eberspacher and a Chinese is that would be encased in silicon. But I think this cost me about 120 quid. The new one, as I say, is about 85. So, and then what you've got is a motor. That has a fan there. It has a fan there. this unit just lifts out. It's a little bit fiddly and tight. Oops. Just the end of the diesel pipe, gasket, and there we go. To remove that unit, it's a 4. And so inside there, you've got a gasket on there, and you've got an induction fan, and you've got another fan there which is drawing air in through this intake and pushing that, firing that into the combustion chamber itself. What's critical is that this fan can spin. Now I can see on the front there some red plastic, so our fan has actually been occasionally touching inside of the case, which is not correct. So when I put it back together, I'll have to have a look at that. Just clear that. What you tend to find is you get dust and detritus in here, and that will slow this fan down a little bit as well, and that will can start to give you some problems. So inside that chamber, again, you've got another 4 cap heads. You've got the glow plug, that's why you need the 12mm spanner for. That's just nipped up, you just need to pull that plug there, which is just a sealing plug. Undo that, and then you can wind the glow plug out, take that out, and in there is the combustion chamber, and all it is a long pipe. The burn takes place in this area here, so diesel fuel comes up that pipe and into there, and it's atomised in there and burned within that chamber, and the exhaust comes out of there. That fan blows air across this aluminium, which is the heat exchange, and that then exhausts that into your ducting, and that's it. They're very, very simple. Where they go wrong is this can get clogged up, so you might have to remove this just to clean out there, or the combustion chamber can get sooted up. And it's just a case of pulling it out and giving it a clean and putting it back together. So what do I think of these heaters? Well, whilst they say that 5 kilowatts and 8 kilowatts, I don't really think they are to be brutal. I think they run at they're probably more like, the 8 is probably more like a 5, and the 5 is probably more like about a 3. Saying that gives up plenty for boats of our size. They're very efficient. They use very little fuel. The new unit we've got has got an electronic controller. We have that set at a particular temperature that we want to achieve in the main saloon, and that just increases or decreases the power of the heater when it's running to maintain that temperature within about a degree or so. And yeah, that's been absolutely fantastic. That's been a big improvement over this heater, which only had a simple on-off and rotary dial. I have bought now a second electronic controller which will operate, and we've tested it on this controller, so that means I can upgrade this one and give a similar level of control. So are they worth the money? Yeah, of course they are. I can have 10 of these to one Erbespacher. So, you know, even if they last a year, whilst yeah, it's a waste of resources and materials on a cost basis, it works well. My only experience with Urbisbackers is the one that we had, and it was very temperamental. So I'm not sure that these are any worse or better than. So there you are. On a day like this, you need some good heating. And that's where it lives. And that's mounted just in front of the starboard engine. The heart of the new heater is obviously the controller. That's the electronic controller. We've currently got an ambient temperature in here of 19 degrees. The heater's not running, but it has been this morning. We have it set up at 25 degrees, which seems hot, but that's because the heat controller is not far away from the actual heat outlet, so we have to have this a little bit hotter than you would normally expect. We've got 13.8 volts. For some reason, weird reason, they've put an altitude on this which is slowly dropping. Can't quite work out what that is yet. Error code. So that's a very simple controller, but it works really, really effectively. And the other part of the system is the little remote control.